no news is a good news because nothing has happened from Europe in the last 10-15 days that has helped the market, because it's quite strong when comparison to many people's expectation. Of course, today is it's understandable because after a strong rally of almost 1200 Sensex points, it's just a matter of giving away 120-150 points. So I think overall net the strength is appearing. Even yesterday's Chinese little bit relaxation of their currencies also can help Indian exporters, because it can create a sense of level playing field in terms in fighting at the international levels. Having said that, the Chinese currency policy, even though it is appearing to be fascinating because a lot of pressure, political pressure across the globe, finally I think China has moving into the tandem of making it more market oriented instead of completely keeping under their control. However, it may be proved to be, I think the fluctuation of Chinese currency may remain to be small appreciation only, because as we have seen in the first 2 days of that relaxation, the Chinese currency has moved barely 0.7%. So even the policy point of view, it was a big move, but currency point of view, I don't think it will prove to be a very big move. And one segment of economists even believe Chinese yuan may go even to a discount in comparison to their erstwhile peg of 6.83 yuan per dollar. So net it will be very fascinating, because in terms of business potential, there is a lot of vested interest and a lot of business potential left in with the Chinese currency policy, even for India.
Right. So doesn't do too much for commodity stocks then, Jagan?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of bearing, Prashant, because whether it be textile exporters from that level, or in terms of IT related in some places, even metals and commodities. So there are various verticals. All these are the denomination. I mean, in terms of different commodities, can play huge difference. I think yesterday's rally was quite understandable, and today's correction is okay. That's okay, because last 10 days we have rallied so fast. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Talk about what you like in this market now, Jagan.
Yeah, I think overall, I think nothing wrong in playing for Nifty 50-100 points more. But having said that, if any bad news comes from Europe, which is appearing to be just a matter of time, I think again we will correct back. It is a perfect traders market, I think, to play for a Nifty 100 points zone. But for a long-term buy, I think it is still sometime it is better to wait, because at this levels at best you can get stable returns. It is perfect traders market, and buy sell in a range of 100-150 Nifty points.
Could that range extend? So last time we went to about 47-80 odd. You think you might get to that? So that's about 500-550 odd points.
Yeah, I mean, I think you are absolutely right. It's a big 10%, 4,700 to 4,200, 5,300. It's a big 10% range. I think if any fall comes, I think we may again see 4,700 level. Nothing ruled out. As they say, when the markets go up, they go up on staircase. When they come down on accelerator.
Would you say then that probably in the new series it's better if you start out around the current levels to buy some out of the money puts?
Yes, I think not a bad option. I think it is better to have aggressive stance, as the better to play the momentum, because as they say, never argue with the tape. Whatever may be the because the Ashu and Shakti's debate about Aban almost symbolizes current market conditions, because technically the things may appearing to be slightly dicey, and even so there is definitely a mismatch between the fundamental views and the technical views, even at the broad market levels. I think it is better to start the next series with a positive mood, and it is better to take as it goes. I think that the momentum and the mood is changing almost on a daily basis.
Specific names, anything you like in this market? I know that you would identify some delisting candidates. After the shareholding norms, a lot of the stocks have run up. Any other themes that you're playing in this market? I know you track a lot of the mid caps closely as well.
Yeah, as far as delistings is concerned, it's again, as you rightly mentioned, it is an interesting theme, because the regulation has opened up a big debate about this possible MNC companies delisting. There are 29 such companies. The only fascinating is whether their delistings will go through or not will depend upon their shareholding patterns. The cases where a lot of institutional holding is there, the chances of their delisting closure is much higher in comparison to the cases where retail holding is high. Because if the retail holding is high, if they don't participate, you will not reach the statutory limits of 90% promoter holding, then delisting will get called off. Then the share prices will correct very fast. We have seen it in case of Goodyear about a month back. So the share price has rallied in anticipation, but it has corrected very big time as soon as the news came that the sufficient response has not come. Even at the time of Subhashish Diamonds, another delisting candidate, after entire reverse book building closure, even after the response came, the promoter said that he doesn't want to go ahead with the delisting. So there are inherent underlying risks in case of delisting procedure. It is better to understand this dynamics. If you understand, you will make money. For example, HSBC delisting case, people had made good money because in a matter of just 15-20 days there was a clear 33% arbitrage, and so people made good money. If you know these 29 stocks of MNC delistings, there is a good potential, but you should because everybody knows there are a lot of question marks about delisting, but very few know what are those question marks.
Is there a trading sort of opportunity with some of the oil?
Yeah. In case of delisting, there are a couple of opportunities. Like Fairfield Atlas, there is one company I can mention where the 84% is with the promoter and 16% is required for 16% is outside. So barely the response has to be just to the extent of 8% for the delisting to go through, and Reliance Capital alone holds 8%. That means even if Reliance Capital alone participates in the Fairfield Atlas delisting, that delisting will comfortably go through. So these are some areas where besides the possibility of company come for delisting, we have to also understand what is the chances of conversion of delisting, closure of delisting. For example, if you see the company like BOC India and which has just announced their delisting, there the closure of delisting is slightly tricky because the holding is quite wide. And also there is a debate about Timken India, even their delisting is expected to happen. If that happens, again in that case also the chances of closure are high, but it is not a guaranteed phenomena because the total response they require is about 10% and 5% is in the hands of 3 mutual funds. If we assume all the 3 mutual funds are going to tender their shares in delisting phenomena, still retail has to come for 5%. So the chances may be high, but it is not a guaranteed phenomena in case of Timken India. So people have to do some homework before playing this arbitrage. It's a fascinating play, but you should know how to play.
All right, okay, fair enough, Jagan. We'll have to leave it there, running short on time, but good getting those thoughts across. Touched upon a couple of issues and a couple of spaces in this market. That's a wrap here on this edition of Tips for Tomorrow. Hope all that will